Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the League of Europe. We are here for round number 11 around around the Zandvoort circuit, the Netherlands. My name is Jacob. No, I'm not mentally taking you through this for this evening. He is feeling quite poorly at the moment, so I do wish him a speedy recovery. Whether it's COVID or not, I have no idea. But as I said, hopefully he does get better soon. And joining myself today, again, it's not Jess. She's decided to go on holiday for the weekend. So we've actually got a new commentator to the league. Say hello to Mr. CRO Fruitful, aka Scott. Scott, how are you doing this evening, my friend?
I'm doing absolutely amazing, Jack. It's a pleasure and an honour to be here for the League of Europe for what is round 11 here on the shores of the North Sea in Netherlands. I'm really looking forward to being in the co-com seat for you this evening as the drivers here in Div 3 take us around this glorious circuit.
Certainly do. I've just been informed by Bent that it is a full dry session for this evening as well. So at least we won't be seeing any sort of rain and any built-up trains, which we probably will see around Zandvoort anyway, because I suppose that is prone to happening around this circuit. But yes, round number 11, as I said, out of 18 rounds, and things are now starting to take shape within this championship. At the moment, I know Rick is the one that is currently leading this championship, but once again, he's not here. And the last time that this had happened, it gave RJ a massive opportunity to try and catch up, which unfortunately for him, he did not capitalise on it. So he had, I think it was around Australia, had the opportunity to try and make a bit more of a gain on Rick, but unfortunately, he only picked himself up 3 points. So he's going to try and have a look and see if he can do a bit of a better job tonight. Not only that, though, you've also got Luke and Tope, both drawn on 99 points, only 14 points shy of RJ, and trying to chase down that championship as well.
Yeah, just over the halfway point this season, and it's really starting to heat up. We are getting into that final half, the real business end. RJ, an excellent opportunity here to go top tonight. Of course, he's only 21 points of Recuric. Apologies if I say that name wrong. Scottish and Finnish don't seem to mix too very well, but an excellent opportunity for RJ. Another person I'm looking out here, Old School, currently down in P8 at the moment, didn't start last time in Belgium. I believe he is in the lobby. Yes, he is there in the McLaren tonight, winning the last race here in Season 5, of course, the Season 5 championship that season. Let's see if he can recuperate some form, get the first point in the win, and maybe a late title challenge for a previous champion. Yeah,
no, it certainly could be. Old School is... I suppose a bit of a veteran in terms of the League of Europe, and of course what was once known as the three-lettered division, or the three-lettered league that we do not like to mention, but I'll say it anyway, of PRL. He has been here for probably one of the longest times out of everybody in this league, so to see him obviously win that championship in Season 5 and now driving around here once again for Season 7... Again, a lot of people tend to call this a Padden ABS track, and that's exactly what he's using. So I would expect him to do relatively well around here for tonight. But one person that has been on form as of recent, IRT Darry, only picking up his first win at Australia, and he is currently out on a lap on those set of medium tyres, just actually making his way around the final banking corner and up towards the line. The German sitting P5 in the stand is trying to chase down his teammate and Luke for this championship, a 10.8 on a set of the mediums. That is actually a very solid time for a set of medium tyres.
Absolutely. Short quali here, of course, 18 minutes. Not really the same elimination of a full quali, so nice early lap in the medium, maybe a little bit of a banker, but a solid time nonetheless. Old School, though, he's going to beat him to the post at 1:10.5, showing that pace already. Of course, that is on the softs, however. Only a tenth or two up of the likes of Bunty, Darry, Tope on the medium, so good pace for them guys immediately.
Yeah, no, it certainly is, and I'm expecting a lot of these guys to be bringing that time down for sure. I'd be expecting maybe the times to be looking around maybe a low 10, potentially one or two of them getting themselves into the 9s for tonight. So I suppose we'll be keeping an eye on, as I said, the guys that, as I said, it's usually renowned as a pad and ABS track, as a lot of people like to call it. So I'm expecting a few of those guys. I know the likes of Brent, Old School. I would have said Miami, but he's not actually here tonight. So Brent, Old School, maybe the likes of Chill, J-Luke. Any of those guys could pull it out of the bag for tonight. At the moment, though, J-Luke sitting in P8 with an 11.2 on a set of the medium. So Bunty, the fastest one, on a set of the medium tyres. And funny enough, actually took his first win in the League of Europe last week as well at Spas. So a lot of people picking up their first wins, and a lot more people from mid part of the season now. I feel like we're starting to see a bit of a dynamic change with how many people picked up wins. I mean, at the moment, it's been about, I think, 6 people in this division so far.
Yeah, I believe so. Your last 6 rounds, of course, different winner in each one. Bunty picking up the win last week in Belgium with a second to last lap overtake on the championship leader, Rikurik. Lovely move, just sitting behind him for a few laps, getting the move done when it counted and picking up the crucial 25 points. So really, you'd be betting against him tonight to win, because we've got the chain going on. Let's make it 7 out of 7 for different winners, perhaps.
Yeah, so I'm quite intrigued if that is going to be the case. I am definitely looking forward to this one. White Try Y, by the way, putting himself up in the P2 at 10.659, just up ahead of Bunty. Of course, Bunty did his time on a set of the soft tyres, so I'll be expecting that 10.6 to be coming down quite significantly. But yeah, as I said, a good banker lap for both White Try Y and for Bunty especially. Roachin on board with DTR Brent, one that I said could be a very good one. And, well, that is an absolute stonking time of a 1 minute 19.8. I think he's actually just geared up to go for his lap now. So, you know what? We'll stick on board with the Dutchman for his home race around Zandvoort in the AlphaTauri on those medium tyres. Keeping it into short shifting it up into 4th gear through turn number 3, and now coming through the long S section that is completely flat out until you come to this downhill section here. Shifting it down maybe 1 or 2 gears, probably down into 6th if you want to try and keep that speed as much as you can down that corner. Purple in sector 1 for Brent. Now, probably as weird as it is, I would say these are probably the 2 hardest corners on this track, just because they're so deceiving. You could think you could take them quick, but you do have the opportunity of just spinning very easily. Now onto the second DRS straight for Brent, getting a little bit of a toe off of Reds, Reds being his temporary teammate for tonight, as Mats is unable to make it, and Brent wasn't purple in sector 2 this time. So we'll see what the Dutchman's going to do as he makes his way around the final corner now. Don't want to be touching that inside curb, but want to take as much of that outside curb as possible without managing to spin. Coming up towards the line now. Is Brent coming into pits? No, he's just keeping it as far to the right as possible. It's a 10.5 into P2, only 1/100th of a second off of the back of Old School on a harder tyre.
Very, very solid lap on the mediums there, followed up, or just before, I should say, by the 2 Lukes, Luke 05 and J Luke 11. They both put in improvement on their lap, on the 3rd lap on those mediums. So little bit of tyre, getting the temperature through those tyres, really paying off for those guys. 110.7 and 110.8 for them, respectively. On board, I'm having a look at F1 Reda, of course, the teammate that provided the tow, saying he's got a purple sector 1 here currently on the mediums. As Marty has been disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. I've seen that once or twice around this circuit before, but still a very strange thing to go on. He's going back down the second DRS straight. Of course, won't have the tow this time, maybe a little bit off. I believe that is his teammate in front through the final sector. Now some crucial corners here really can make or break your lap, and this corner particularly, the amount of times I've seen a car spin, particularly during the race, it'll be one to watch as we take 2 of the laps. But Reda running down to the line now, putting his first competitive lap time in it is, and a 1:10.9. Not bad for the first lap, bit of a banker on the mediums, and still plenty of time for him to improve out there.
Yeah, certainly is. Just under 10 minutes now left to go off the session, and we've got all of our first times, other than, of course, EVG, Rom, and Marty, who has disqualified from the session. Chill has also just retired from the session. I think that is actually a crash just after, I think it's one of the fast right-handers, as Emily Tope, the one sitting in 4th/3rd of the championship, of course, tied with Luke, puts it on pole so far, a 1:10.1. These are the times I'm more expecting now from these guys over in Division 3, and I'm expecting a lot more of these times to start coming down, start dropping a lot more, since we're seeing a lot more of these guys now go on a softer compound tyre, Bunty being one of them, and he was the one that put a 10.6 on those medium tyres. Is it going to be any competitive? I think, in fact, he is just gearing up to start his lap, so he's done 1 lap on the set of the softs already, and so he's now going to be doing his actual lap. Who else is going to be making their way around the line. I believe XLRJ will be the next one, of course, other than I think that's Reds just making his way into the pits. So RJ, he was just actually going purple in Sector 2. Whether it's true or not, I know there's a little bit of a timing glitch with that. We'll be able to see at the end of this lap as he makes his way up towards the line comes RJ, and it's only into P8 with a 10.755. The championship protagonist trying to chase down the championship leader. It's not a good start for him down in P8. However, I've seen him start even further down the grid and still manage to make his way up through the entire field.
Absolutely, seems to be a bit of deja vu maybe for him going on what happened in Australia, but it's the good old saying, you don't score points for qualifying, it's all about where you finish, and he's going to have plenty of time to not only improve in this session but make up the positions in what is sure to be an eventful race. The guys at the top though, 110.1, I definitely expect us to see creep down into the 109s, maybe a 109.9, 109.8 potentially. 8 minutes to go, they've only got a few attempts to find to make that. I wouldn't write that off at all, of course. 3 tenths, well 2.5 tenths separating the top two. Darry there getting in a nice lap while that was all going on, putting himself up in P2 with a 110.2. Not a lot of cars out on track at the moment, they're kind of quiet period in the middle of the session. Sure, they'll be all gearing up for some final runs and see if they can put some solid lap times in. Noah J though crossing the line to put his, I believe it was his first lap time, a 1:11.4. Perfect pond on a lap. He's currently down on his time, and Cam K Mum on a slow lap, likely coming into the pits.
Yeah, so all of those guys, I know Cam K's done 3 laps on those set of soft tyres, so I think he's just getting used to the track a bit more, especially going those long on those set of soft tyres. So I'd expect him, coming straight into the pits, maybe just chuck on a fresh set of softs to get an actual lap done on the board. Meanwhile, running on board with the Aston Martin driver of Luke 05, who was actually originally my teammate when I started off in Division 3, and then I got promoted into Division 2, so there's a little bit of a bias here, and I'm kind of rooting for him to see him do well. But yeah, Luke just making his way around through Sector 2 now, and see what he's going to do. Currently sitting in P7, instead of 10.7 on those set of the medium tyres, so I'm expecting him to be improving on that time massively. And saying that, he's 2.5 tenths up on his time, so this will put him around where Old School was, maybe even just up ahead of Old School. So let's see how he's going to do through this final sector. It's all about that last corner. That last corner, weirdly enough, is the one that you want to get right. If you do not get that right, that can lose you an oozing amount of time before you get yourself up to the line. But Luke coming up to the line now, and it's a 10.336 into P3, and we are now starting to see a lot more of these times starting to creep down now, Scott. I'm expecting a few more of these guys to potentially get themselves into these lines for tonight.
Absolutely. I'm expecting a handful of cars to creep down into those times. The man that's looking to do it at the moment, DTR Brent, he's currently on a quick lap going down the DRS straight towards turn 11 and 12, sorry. The Hans Ernest Bok, of course, Bok being Belgium for Bend. A nice little bit of trivia for you. But the final corner, like you're saying, so crucial you get it right, because it sets up the run down the longest straight here and gets you such a good run to the line, not to just finish your lap, but to potentially start another lap. He is going to cross the line. It's only going to be a 1:10.2. Say only. It's enough for P3 at the moment, and another one creeping to those low 10s. J Luke was also on a quick lap there, unfortunately running wide through the exit of turn 8 on entry to turn 9 and losing so much time at backing out and going again. Hopefully he'll be looking to improve on the P10 at the moment. Definitely got the potential for it. A 1:10.8 at the moment on a quick lap. And one to probably look out for. Finds himself currently down in the bottom half of the championship. And I know J Luke quite well. I know he's got the pace. He is a pad. Expect him to do well here. 2 tenths up at the moment.
Yeah, no, we definitely could be seeing him do very, very well as well. I was riding on board with Bunty, and he was actually up on his time, but backed off of his lap, strangely enough. So I'm assuming that we're going to see him go for another lap soon, as F1 Reds comes up to the line, slots it into P4, just behind his temporary teammate, as Old School comes across the line as well. 0.04 of a second up ahead of Darry. J Luke did actually come up across the line and do a lap to do a 10.371 as Taupe, the first one into the 9s, a 9.971 for the German in the Williams. So yeah, I think we're going to start to see a lot more time starting to creep down now as we're getting closer towards the end of the session. Only 4 well, just over under 4.5 minutes, sorry, should I say 4 minutes 20, interestingly enough, left of the session. So, yeah, a lot of guys, I think we're going to start to see them coming out of the pits very, very soon. I believe there is a Ferrari that is just making his way around the final corner and up towards the line. That's not Rom, that's Hasselyu, who is actually new to the league as well. He is only down in P16, but I'm expecting him to try and improve on that lap from an 11.2. You know what, we're going to stick on board with him for this lap, because I think he's one of the only ones that is actually on a lap. I think all the other guys are on and in laps, so we'll keep on board with the Ferrari driver. As I said, a new driver to the season, and I'm very intrigued to see how he's going to go, or how he's going to do out in Belgium. I think he didn't end up actually scoring any points, unfortunately, for him, so maybe trying to do a bit more of a redemption around Zandvoort, making his way around through sector 2. Now goes a little bit too wide, and that curb has completely chucked him off, and that is his lap done. And it was a very slow crash into the wall, and he's now out of the session, interestingly enough.
Strange one, a bit of the old Codemasters physics model there, playing into his, well, not playing into his hands, I suppose, playing completely against him. It will be P16 at best for him. Bunty, though, crossing the line there. Free lap, Old Softs, setting a 1:10.3, currently finds himself in P6. The battle for P2 at the moment in this qualifying, from P2 to P8, just under a tenth. That's incredible. The pace and the competition on this grid is amazing. I'm really looking forward to this race, I must admit, Jack. First race, and hopefully not the last by the rate of this that I'm going to be involved in commentary.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I know there's a lot more opportunities that do come up for it, so hopefully there'll be some more for yourself, whether it's for this division or for any other division. Yeah, I'm sure there will be plenty for yourself as well. But yeah, Bunty, very good time at 10.316. Again, it's sort of put him within the mix. Any small little margin will get these drivers up at least 1 or 2 positions, like you say. Just over a tenth from Old School all the way down to J-Luke. YXYY still hasn't put an improvement from his 10.6 at the very beginning of the session, and I think might actually be coming out. As I was saying that, yeah, he's just coming out of the pits now to get hopefully get an improved lap on that. RJ making his way as well, and I think it's Pierre. I don't know how you say it. I don't know if I said that right. I definitely butchered that name, but I'll just say Easy. Easy's making his way to start a lap, as well as everybody pretty much on an out lap, and I think Luke might actually be the first one to go for a lap. The problem for him, though, he has got a lot of traffic as he's starting his lap now, so this could be a bit of an interesting one for Luke, but we're right on board with him anyway. The first one to finish his final laps.
Yeah, a lot of traffic in that first sector potentially. Can be a tricky track to get out of the way. There is sort of far and few between where there is room to actually safely let somebody pass on your lap. He's doing alright though through the first sector. 24.4, 10th up on his time, enough to potentially move him up into P2. Of course, he's got 2 sectors to find another few tenths to start to challenge Tope for that pole position. Of course, the man in the Red Bull out on a lap, or the Williams, sorry, not the Red Bull. Colours always deceive me, but look, a 10.5 up in his time here, coming through the turns 11 and 12 section, and does invalidate, taking too much curb there.
Very unlucky. It was in fact over 2 tenths of a second up on his time, so that would have been a bit of a blistering lap time from Luke. Very unfortunately for him, though. Not going to be an improvement. He might try and gear up to go again, as Tope was just watching on board of him at the, for his final lap, and has just spun at the first corner, so he's not going to be doing an improvement. Rex up to the line, and the American puts it in with P5, 1,000th behind Brent, a 10.254. Luke, as I said, I think he is gearing up to go for another lap now, so he wants to try and go for that improvement. RJ just starting his lap. The American of CamK, a 10.716, and a lot more guys are now starting to finish their laps. Rom making his way up towards the line. He hasn't got a time on the board as of yet. What is his one lap gonna do? And that's a P2 for EVG Rom, a 10.195. Very nice lap for him indeed, as we have got an AlphaTauri making his way up towards the line. That is Brent. Is he going to contend with Tope? Just shy of it, into the 9th, but it's just missing out. J-Luke as well coming across the line with a 10.371, and got the 2 Hasses now making their way up towards the line. First one being Easy, not improving on his time. Next one being YXYY up into P9 with a 10.334. Probably didn't want to improve on that lap, as he probably could have done the alternate strategy as well. RJ and I believe that is Perfect Pond just going to be making their way up towards the line. I don't know why it says Perfect Pond's on an out lap, because he, I believe, is actually due to be finishing that lap. Yep, 10.762 for Perfect Pond. RJ RJ, does he improve on his lap? No, he doesn't. He stays at a 10.755. Last one being Noah J, and I think he's on a very slow lap. Yep, he has got no front wing whatsoever. So I believe that is qualifying done. Old School's going very slow, and Tope has got no front wing either. So very, very close in terms of qualifying. And they're all sort of split up into separate groups from the looks of things. Scott, you got the top two of Tope and Brent, only separated by 100th of a second. And then all the way down from third, down into P11 from J-Luke, literally split by 10th of a second.
Really close battle there, it looks, mate, for this final podium position. J-Luke, arguably, in the poor man's pole position, they are going to have a really good advantage. Fresh tyres, maybe go for that alternative strategy, of course. Tyre wear, not too much of an issue around here, but tyre temperatures can be the key factor. That battle, though, is going to be, if they can keep that pace consistently going, it's going to be amazing. And then even further down, P12 to P15, P16, sorry. Nothing between them, half a tenth between 6 cars. Incredible. I would love to see this kind of racing, and this is just qualifying.
Yeah, it's extremely close between a lot of them. I'll tell you who I'm quite a little bit disappointed with, though, in terms of timing, is actually QVR Chill. As I said, I think this is more of a track that would suit him, because he does love a bit of Bahrain. So I'd have thought, if you love a bit of Bahrain, you might like a little bit of Zandvoort. There's a little bit of a different dynamic in the track, but at the same time, it's more tailored towards, like everyone says, a pad and ABS driver. So Chill, I know, uses those, and I'm quite surprised he's only down in P17. He did say for me to not mock him, but I feel like it's my duty to anyway. So yeah, I don't know why Chill's down in 17th. Hopefully he'll be able to make his way up in a few positions, but I'm sure we'll see that in the race. You know, anything can happen within this race. Like you say, it's not in qualifying where you end up getting. It's not qualifying where you get points. It's in the race where you finish, you get the points. And in the League of Europe, it's in the top 12. So if you're in the top 12, you're getting yourself some points. But Hope is the one that's going to be starting on that front of the grid with Brent lining up alongside him. Rom and Old School filling out the second row, and it's an all IRT third row of Dari and Rex in the Williams and in the Alpine in P5 and P6. Reds in P7, Bunty in 8th, YHYY in 9th, Luke down in 10th again, and a bit of a disappointing qualifying for Luke as well. I'm sure he would have liked to have been a little bit higher with that. J-Luke is in P11 on the poor man's pole position with Cam K lining up alongside him in 12th. RJ, the championship protagonist, trying to chase down the leader in P13. Again, not where he wants to be starting. Perfect Pond is in 14th. Easy is in 15th. Maverick in 16th. Chill in 17th. Hassel U in 18th. Noah J in 19th. And Marty being disqualified at the beginning of the session for blocking the pit lane. Probably just trying to let a few cars go. Is starting down in P20. And all IRT back row as well. So, again, any of these drivers can make their way up through the grid. I don't know. I really don't know who to call for win this race. I know it's difficult to overtake here, but I've seen it done. I've definitely seen it done. So I can't call who's going to win this race.
I'm going to go for a bold prediction. I'm going to go for Rom to take the win. That qualifying lap really impressed me. The pressure's on. You haven't got a lap on the board. It's right near the end of the session. You haven't really got that banker to fall back in, and he smashed out a 1:10.1 to take P3. That's impressed me. I think if he had the banker on, he could push a little bit more. He's got some secret pace in that locker. I can't wait to see if he can unleash it in this race. Other than that, I'm the same boat as you, Jack. I have not a clue who to call for. All I do know is it's going to be an exciting one.
It certainly is. It certainly is. I'll tell you what, I am really hoping. He's been up there so many times this season to the point where he's also been battling me when I was in Division 3. I think Brent, if he does not bottle this like he has done with the past few races, he can win this race. This is his best opportunity now to take this race win. He had a few opportunities, like I said, at the beginning of the season, and again had bottled them. So this, now being on the front row alongside Tope, I think this is his best opportunity to try and go for the win for tonight. J-Luke and Cam K, again, ones that you can't rule out. Cam K is the only driver in this division that has finished in the points every single time. So I'm expecting that streak to carry on tonight for the American. Saying that though, he's the only one outside the top 10 that's gone on a set of the soft tyres instead of on the mediums. Everybody else has gone on mediums, and Hassel U down in 18th has gone on a set of the hard tyres. So a bit of an interesting one for Cam K and a bit of an interesting one for Hassel U. It could work out for them. If well, for Cam K, really, it's more of just getting a jump on J-Luke and trying to get within the rest of the soft runners. But for Hasselju, on a set of the hard tyres, he's going to look to go longer than what the medium runners are going to go on a set of the softs towards the end. So, could play out for him, or it may not work out for him the best that or for what he was hoping for. I know it is usually an easy soft to medium or medium to soft around here, so who knows? As I said, it could play out for him, it may not play out for him, but all I know is Tope versus Brent at the start. I think we're going to be in for a spicy one there, Scott.
Absolutely, yeah. Hasselju on the hards, going for the bold Cole. Late safety car could really pay him dividends here. Of course, the good old saying, I don't know if it's much of a saying or if it's just something I say, mistakes, overtakes, safety cars and fast cars. That's what make a brilliant Grand Prix. And I think we've got all the right ingredients here for a few of everything. But I'm going to hand it back over to you, Jack, because the grid is lining up as we're getting ready for the start of the Grand Prix here.
Certainly are. So yeah, everybody now making their way up towards the grid. Will just be waiting, of course, for the Hungarian of Marty to make his way up towards the Bulgarian, sorry, not Hungarian, the Bulgarian of Marty to make his way up towards the grid, and then we can get round number 11 underway. Is RJ? This is the question I'm going to see. Is RJ going to make some positions up? He needs to try and capitalize on this as much as possible. If he doesn't, then this could help Rick massively in this championship. This is his best opportunity once again. He's been given the second life, but we've got the 4, we've got the 5 red lights on for round number 11, around Zandvoort, as lights out, and away they go, and Brent getting a very good start, but Tope getting an even better start, managing to pull a full car length up ahead. Rom and Old School all going free, wide with Dari in the middle of all of that, but Old School keeping that inside line, I believe is going to be able to take that P3 from the start. A little bit of contact going down below, I think that is Bunty around turn number 1, very unfortunately for him. Luke, J-Luke, everyone making a few mistakes. Rom, I think, going down the order, same with Chill, and Rex, I believe, also going down the order. Rex, in fact, picking up a 5-second penalty for a severe collision, and there's already a virtual safety car, but very clean at the start, but towards the middle and the back end of the grid, it just looked like it was complete chaos.
Yeah, caught on board there. Perfect Pond and Hasselju getting a little bit tangled up through turn 1, just spinning each other, losing some time, particularly for the Ferrari. And then I believe it was one of the Haases, maybe Easy, I'm going to have a go at pronouncing the name, Fumpe. I think that's the way you say it, the Dutch driver. I think it was him getting tangled up there with Rex, and a bit of wing damage for a few cars. But overall near the front runners getting away nice and clean. This VSC early doors though, keeping the pack nice and easy together. The guys with the damage, of course, be praying and hoping it stays for a while, as Perfect Pond seems to have... Oh, that seems to just be a bit of a connection issue on my end. It looked as if he had pulled to the side and let drivers pass, but I believe a little bit of connection bother happening for the American here tonight.
Yeah, well, we're back under racing now, and I'm just having a look, because RJ is trying to make his way through as Kamke and Easy Dimpier both spinning at the final corner. Kamke now down into 17th, and I believe Easy is now, well, making his way down as well. Complete wing damage, and a few other guys making their way into the pits. Reds, White Tri-Y, Rex, Rom, all making their way into the pits. RJ and J-Luke both side by side through turn 2 and coming through turn 3 as well. Both the medium runners, and they've had an absolute blinding start, especially RJ, because he was behind J-Luke. So RJ, the Scotsman, I said he needed to make some positions up. He certainly has done that, and up into P6 already. The top 5, of course, are going to drop the medium runners, which is to be expected, but RJ and J-Luke, a very good start from them. Chill as well, started down in 17th, already up into 8th. Just capitalising on everyone's mistakes and saying that, J-Luke has made that mistake and has gone around very unfortunately. I don't know what corner number it is, but I believe that it is at turn number 10. So very unfortunate for J-Luke, but gone around, battling with RJ. He's now down in 12th position. RJ is now given clean and free space to try and catch up to the rest of those soft runners.
Yeah, as you say, to be expected, the top 5 sort of dropping the medium runners. But RJ, shout out to Noah J as well. He's up, I believe, 10 positions, sorry. And Marty up 9 from P20 to P11, taking advantage of those mistakes and incidents in the first lap. Perfect Pond currently on the tail end of Chill. Nothing separating the two drivers. On the mediums, of course, you expect them to have ample and sufficient pace to stick with each other. Elsewhere as well, doesn't seem to be too many battles happening, just those mistakes spreading the field out. We typically expect, well, from my experience, I don't know about you, Jack, Zandvoort, a little bit of a train track. The DRS train, it can be tricky to overtake, and it is really waiting for those little mistakes like we've seen J-Luke making to just take advantage and spring your car through any gap that you can.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. It's very, as I said, it's a very difficult track to overtake. It's sort of, it gives me a reminder of like Hungary and Monaco, where the track is so tight to the point where it is literally, there was just the two DRS straights. One is not really even a place where you can overtake. It's mainly just down the start-finish straight, as well as obviously if there's a little bit of a mistake that happens with one of the drivers up in front, you probably could go for a bit of an opportunity on them. But again, you need to be close enough to be able to do that. And looking on board of Old School, Dari and Luke, obviously Dari's got a DRS, but he's not close enough whatsoever to Old School. So I think that's another lap that Dari in the Williams is going to have to sit behind the McLaren. So yeah, Old School just needs to try and do what he can to maybe get back in the DRS of Brent. Saying that though, Tope has completely broken away from Brent, and now Tope is the one that's well, he's gotten himself out of the DRS from Brent, so Brent really needs to now start getting a bit of a move on to try and get himself back within that DRS of Tope. And Tope just driving this so perfectly so far is Maverick, the first retirement of the session, and that is a full course safety car for this, or well, the first time. So you said, like you said, mistakes overtakes fast cars, safety cars, and well, we're already seeing our first one on lap number 4.
I would say we've already checked 4 laps. We've had the full check of those 4 things. Maverick having a spin at turn 3, I believe just losing it on the curb and spinning that car over to the right. But this will be perfect for the guys involved in those first lap incidents. Nice little regroup of the pack. Nice little reset of the race. Will we see some bold strategy calls here? Maybe somebody choose to jump on the hards to the end, try some stretch in the mediums to the end, or will they stick with it, favouring that track position? Big call for the drivers. Tope will be the first to make that decision, and he fakes going into the pits. Brent does go in, however, going to be pitting off those softs after 4 laps, and most of the guys, I believe all of the guys in the soft following him into the pits, as well as RJ on the mediums jumping into the pits. Noah J continuing on round, as does Perfect Pawn. So strategy call already coming into play here. We're going to see some very alternative, very mixed strategies for the rest of this race here.
I'm not surprised that we see most of the guys make their way into the pits. I'm very surprised we didn't see Tope or Bunty come in, however. So Tope, he's now going to be technically a pit stop behind the likes of Old School, the likes of Brent, Dari, Luke, RJ. He's going to be dropping back a significant amount of places, unless after the safety car restart, he can make up a stupid amount of time within the next 5 laps or so to try and get a bit of a gap on those guys behind him. But I don't really see it. I think Tope definitely has made the wrong call on staying out on these soft tyres. If he would have followed in, I mean, he could still come in at the end of this lap, but he would have dropped, the damage had already been done. He would drop back quite a few number of places, as they're already on the back of the safety car. So Noah J, Marty J, Luke, of course, didn't make their way into the pits. Neither did Hassel you, and as I said, Bunty. I think Bunty now is technically in a net last position. I think he's now, I don't know why he hasn't come in as well. After seeing everybody else in front of him come in, I would have thought Bunty would have done the same, but it could work out for him. You never know. Again, anything can happen. It's only lap number 5 of 36, and we've already seen, like you said, everything's checked off of the checklist. So, yeah, anything can happen. Another safety car could come out. I don't know. I still feel like it's the wrong strategy for Tope, but I've been called wrong before. Who knows? I might be proven wrong today.
We always love to be proven wrong. I'd love for these drivers to be able to turn around and say, nope, we got it bang on. You are in the wrong. You know nothing about what you're talking about. But looking at it at the moment, it does seem to be the wrong call. Hassel you on those hards, despite having that instant. Currently in P5, of course. No chance for him to pit. He's got to stretch those hards as long as he can. He's also joined by Brent, RJ and a Chill on the hard, so they'll definitely be able to go to the end. The medium runners, I believe, for a little bit of tyre conservation, could stretch them out to the end, but I don't think that's quite the final tail in this pit stop strategy. I think there could be a few twists yet, but plenty of time for them to happen. Like you say, lap 6 out of 36. We're only 1/6 into the race, and it has really had everything edge of the seat stuff. Can't believe it.
Yeah, no, it certainly has. It's already been very chaotic within the first 4 laps, and I think Perfect Pond might be having a few internet or connection issues, like you were saying in qualifying. He is seeming to be jumping through the field, so I'm not too sure what's going on with that, but hopefully he can get those internet issues sorted out. But he's the one that's actually technically in 2nd position at the moment, not Noah J, as safety car is going to be in this lap. So we'll see how Tope's going to do this restart with everybody else. And yeah, I'm expecting the German to go relatively late, only because of the rest of the guys behind them on like a fresher set of tyres. For some reason, Perfect Pond is the one that's holding up the rest of the grid. No idea why. Tope probably could have just gone then and then would have been fine. So yeah, very, very strange one at the moment. But Tope, see how he's going to do the safety car restart, making his way around the final corner and onto the banking. Are we going to see him go at the banking? Are we going to see him go at the end of the banking? The German, he's going to try and decide. He does dip his tyres into the grass just for good measure, but let's see when he's going to go. He's gone now after the DRS line. So yeah, Tope now has done that restart, and looks like Marty is the best one to try and catch out a fellow IRT member of Noah J. He's going to try and go around the outside. The Bulgarian, he doesn't make it, and J. Luke's going to try and swoop it down the inside of Marty, but does not get that move done in the end. So Marty retains that P4 position. Very clean safety car restart so far of everyone. Just what I'm looking through the field, it's looking like Tope has had a perfect restart and already a 1 second gap up ahead of Perfect Pond, saying that J. Luke and Marty now both side by side, and J. Luke in fact going around the outside of Marty at the hairpin and just got the better traction on those medium tyres. So very nice move from J. Luke, and yeah, up into P4. Rex has come into the pits, however, for a wing change.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch what happened as we see the Bunty. It is Bunty indeed having a spin, and he's followed by Rom as well. I believe that is turn 9. Two of them just losing it on traction on the inside. We've seen a few cars having a little bit of a wiggle, particularly the hard runners of RJ and Chill, just the cold hard tyres at the start of the restart there. And Hasselju is into the wall, the Ferrari. It's a little bit of a strange place, I must admit, the exit of turn 11.
That's old school as well. Him and Dario were both side by side, and there was a lot that was just went on. I said it was a very clean safety car restart. The midway through that lap, it just did not look very clean, to say the least. So old school going up the inside of White Y is still on relatively older tyres as well, and splitting him and Brent, or old school and Brent with each other, as there's been a spinner. That is Cam K down in 14th now, as old school coming into the pits, chucking on a fresh set of the medium tyres and changing his wing. Noah J and J Luke, the 2 Mercedes drivers, look like they're both going to start going at it as well. J Luke maybe he's just looking like the quickest driver so far on these medium tyres. Of course, Tope, he's already pulled out a 2.5 second gap to Perfect Pond up in the lead of the race. So Toby, I said he needed to try and pull out some blistering laps. He certainly is pulling them out at this moment. Perfect Pond just holding up the rest of the grid. But yeah, at the moment, J Luke is looking the one that's quickest out of the rest of them, other than Tope, and he wants to try and get past his teammate. However, it's not going to be an easy feat trying to get past Noah J, and I feel like he might be even with DRS, it's still going to be a struggle for him to try and get any sort of move done. But yeah, midway through that lap, that got very, very spicy very, very quickly. And yeah, old school went round, Hassel U went round, I think a little bit of contact with, I believe it might have been with Reds, I could be wrong. Yeah, it all just sort of kicked off in the midway through that lap, and like I said, DRS is now enabled. Brent eyeing up a move on Marty to try and go into turn 1, doing quite well on these hard tyres, it must be said. So I'm intrigued to see how he's going to do towards the end. Of course, their tyres are going to be much better towards the end in comparison to the medium runners.
Yeah, Brent effectively the net leaders. We do have a yellow flag. That is Noah J in the Mercedes having a spin on the exit of turn 3. I don't know if there was any contact there, but he finds himself in the wall and without a front wing. So the hopes of a Mercedes 1, 2, 3, wherever they may have finished, is now been dashed. Easy position for J Luke to try and hunt down the leaders with that pace he's finding on the 8-lap mediums. As well, of course, Tope, 3 second gap to the guys out in front, but of course he will need to pit very soon. Those softs, the pendulum of pace, it's of course in the favour of the guys in the fresh mediums, but it's going to swing even more so to the guys like Perfect Pond, J Luke and Marty on the 8-lap mediums. Every lap the soft tyre is going to degrade more and more, and that pace is just going to end as Noah J is actually retired on track, it seems, into the wall on entry to turn 8, I think that is.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. He did have no front wing, and yeah, very unfortunate for Noah J. Was running very well at the beginning of this race, and even then battled, of course, with his teammate. I'm not too sure what had happened there. Maybe just lost it on traction. I know that is definitely a place it's quite easy to lose it on traction, so very unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, just on board with Brent getting that move done on Marty. So now on the hards, Brent making some moves, some very crucial moves as well, might I add, and considering that Marty is the one that hasn't pit. Brent is technically in our net race lead, and he's about, I want to say, 5.5 seconds, maybe just under 5.5 seconds behind Taupe. So Taupe's doing an exceptional job on these soft tyres, still pulling out a gap, and now 3.5 seconds up ahead of Perfect Pond on those mediums. But Taupe needs to do more. As weird as it sounds, he's doing a lot, but he needs to do more to try and get this gap up from Brent. He wants to have the best opportunity of being able to catch him towards the end of this race, and I think what Taupe really is hoping for is another safety car. He's probably hoping what that Noah J crash would have given him that safety car, but unfortunately for him it didn't. And yeah, still going to be leading this race, still not coming into the pits either. And it's a little bit further up ahead, sorry, is J-Luke getting a move done on Perfect Pond, going down the inside of the Aston Martin, getting that move done nice and easily for J-Luke. Now up into second position. Of course, these guys still haven't made their pit stop yet, going to be going long on these tyres. Reds and RJ switching positions as well. RJ on a set of the hard tyres, just can't seem to get it going as much as Brent has as well, considering he was only just behind him. And now, yeah, RJ down into 10th position. Still up ahead of Chill, however, on a set of the hards, as Marty now losing out of position to YHYY as well. So, yeah, the other Hassel YHYY, and Dari also trying to go down the inside of him, coming down the hill, and Dari, good move from the German. It was a very nice move, in fact, on the Bulgarian. So Dari getting that move done on Marty for that P6 position. Marty now really struggling on these medium tyres, considering he hasn't pit yet. It probably was the wrong strategy. Maybe he should have just gone for a set of the hard, but again, it could play out for him. But he just seems to be losing position after position, and it looks like another one is about to come into fruition from Luke, as Marty goes a little bit defensive on the Aston Martin.
Yeah, Marty looking to start to struggle now on those 10-lap old mediums. Of course, everybody's racing with much fresher tyres. Very, very optimistic move by Dari, and an excellent overtake, I must say. As the race leader is now into the pits, it is, of course, Taupe pitting in from the net, well, from the official race lead. He's going to pop out in the back half of the field, sitting on a set of mediums, able to take them to the end fairly easily, I would say so. Hassel, you as well, seemed to having a little bit of a spin in the second sector on the softs, and he's lost his front wing, so it'll be another pit stop for the man that was running very high up earlier in the race. But some good battles going on here, specifically in the sort of mid-pack. That battle from P4, from YHYY, all the way down, you could even include RJ in that. He's just outside the DRS zone at the moment. Really going to be heating up. Different compounds, different ages, always brings excitement, and I think we're on board for that here in the next few laps or so, as the gaps just start to close in bit by bit.
They certainly are, and there's a little bit of one that's going up ahead as well. Brent and Perfect Pond, as Hassel picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. I wonder if we'll see the Ferrari maybe retire from the session. It doesn't look as if he is, and going to carry on, so fair play to him for that one. But Brent and Perfect Pond, Brent on those hard tyres has actually caught up to Perfect Pond, and he is doing an exceptional job. Remember, Brent doesn't have to make another pit stop unless there's another safety car to chuck on maybe a fresher set of tyres. But here goes Brent on Perfect Pond, down the inside in towards turn number 1. Pond doesn't actually leave him the room, and Brent backs out of that one very early. So Brent, I suppose it was more smarter to back out from that, but at the same time, I still probably would have tried to get that move done, as Easy and Chill both going side by side, and in fact Easy getting a move done on Chill to go up into P10 on those medium tyres. They, again, both of these guys I believe would be going towards the end, as Chill had a little bit of a moment and has now got a lap car of Hassel in front of him. So not what you want to be seeing, considering that it's going to be sort of impeding his view on where he needs to go. But at the same time, I'm trying to chase down, of course, Easy. And the annoying thing for Chill now as well, I believe once Hassel gets past him, he's going to be given Easy DRS. Saying that though, Hassel does make a bit of a mistake on these soft tyres. So I don't know if he did give him any DRS. I don't think he has, so I think Chill's still going to be able to stick on the back of him. Meanwhile, Camcake getting the move done on Rom for the final points position. So Camcake is going to try and, as I said, he's looking to try and keep his point streak going. There's Perfect Pond around at the final corner. Must have touched the outside curb too much, and that has chucked him into the barrier. So I don't know if he's got himself any weight damage. Oh, that's Chill as well. Massive crash that's gone on.
I think it is indeed the second safety car. I was just about to say, I think we will see a safety car with that. That was a very strange but high energy, I suppose you could describe it as, incident there between the Alfa Romeo and I believe that is, the Aston Martin of Perfect Pond. Of course, having the spin and just rejoining back in, not quite able to sync up, it seems. But this is really going to shake up the grid. Disaster for the previous race leader, Tope. He's only been in the pit 2 laps ago from the softs onto the mediums, and it's all sort of just scuppered his plan, because everybody in front's going to get a free pit stop. I wonder if we'll see the likes of RJ, the likes of Brent, hop on for a fresh set of mediums. I would expect everybody in that top 10 to put on a fresh set of the yellow stripe mediums. In fact, pretty much the majority of the grid I would be expecting to do so.
Yeah, no, exactly. J-Luke, I don't think can. That's the problem. He started on these medium tyres, the same with Marty. They're the only two that haven't actually made their pit stops yet. The likes of Brent, YHRY, Darry, they can all come in and chuck on a fresh set of the mediums, like you say. So, yeah, I think Brent... Oh, in fact, J-Luke is coming in. So J-Luke must be coming in to chuck on, what, a fresh set of hard tyres, maybe? Yeah, he's putting on the white walls. So J-Luke going to go on the hards to go to the end of the race. Brent's actually staying out, interestingly enough. YHYY has come in. So J-Luke is actually going to be... Well, he's in a decent position, but... Unfortunately for him, because he started on those mediums, he can't go on another set of the mediums. YHYY's coming, chucked on mediums. Darry's coming, chucked on mediums. RJ's coming, chucked on mediums. Easy's coming, chucking on mediums as well. Cam K has chucked on a fresh set of the mediums as well. Old School chucked on, interestingly, a fresh set of soft tyres. However, he's going to be very behind the grid, so he's not going to be able to get any places on the jumps from them all pitting. However... on the set of the softs at the safety car restart, he's going to try and make up some moves as much as possible, just for a bit of damage limitation on what happened between himself and Darry, as Marty and Luke, for some reason, just chopping and changing positions. I don't know what had happened there between the pair of them, but Brent still stays in the lead of the race. Marty, still without a pit stop, is still in second. Luke is in third with Reds in fourth. J-Luke in fifth on the hard tyres, the freshest hard tyres. Tope is now in sixth, just up ahead of YHYY. So I think we're going to see some again, second safety car now, lap number 15. I think there's going to be some very spicy battles going on now once the safety car restarts coming.
Absolutely, fresh charge, fresh tyres. It's really going to be a race on. Hassel you getting at on the softs at the back. Of course, he'll be re-catching up. It'll be a good chance for... I don't know if he's unlapped himself or not. Be unfortunate if he hasn't. Who was it else as well? Was it Old School? Old School chucking on a set of softs and then going back in and putting on a set of mediums. I'm quite surprised because he'd already pit already, so it wasn't as if it was a double pit just to get the tyre compounds out of the way. And Marty choosing to go long on those starting set of mediums. He'll be hoping for maybe a late safety car, slap on the softs and do this under a one stop, or is he just going to try and stretch those mediums as long as he can and just battle out, try and hold people up? But Brent, I'm surprised at him, I must say. 10 lap on the hards, of course. Hards easily going to run this to the end. Would do so without this safety car, but just the pace advantage having the harder compound as Hasselju does retire in the pits. Seeing he's a lap down and won't get a chance to lap himself, it is a shame. But nonetheless, not bad for, I believe it's his second race or third race. Anyway, expect to see more of him in the future. We've got plenty of action still to come here though, 20 laps to go. I'm not going to rule it out, but I don't think this is going to be the final time Bert Maylander is going to make an appearance today.
No, I think he's probably led the most laps on in this grid so far as well. So Brent is going to be the one that's going to be starting off the safety car restart very, very soon. Once, of course, Rex and Old School have caught up to the back of the pack. But yeah, I think the only thing that's going to benefit Brent from this is that Marty behind him hasn't pit yet either. And of course, Luke and Reds also being on 10-lap old medium tyres. Of course, they're still going to have a bit more of an advantage on Brent, but they need to get past Marty first. And even looking back at it, it looked like Luke was struggling to get past Marty before. So Brent could still have the opportunity of winning this race. He just needs to stay up ahead of Marty as much as possible. And if he does, it's a good opportunity for him to at least take these hards to the end and get this win. Again, as long as there's no other safety car. If there's another safety car, then it pretty much has shafted his strategy. But I think we might see Brent do what Tope did at the start. However, it's not going to be as effective because he's on those harder tyres. I'm expecting Tope and J-Luke and YHRY to start try and get through the likes of Red, through Luke and through Marty as well. I think Brent's going to be a bit of a difficult one to try and get past. However, he's been driving very well. Him and Tope have been driving very, very well. So, yeah, I think I still think Tope could win this race, but Brent, I think, might have the best opportunity now. He just needs to hope that those other medium runners behind him are going to be holding up the rest of those guys, trying to chase him down.
Absolutely, those P2 to P4 is his buffer here. It's going to be an interesting one for J-Luke as well, of course. He's on the hards, easy going to the end. He doesn't need to conserve any tyres, not that you really would do with the hards, so he's going to be able to just push. And every lap that goes on, he's going to get more of a tyre advantage being on the hardest compound with the freshest tyres. Threw me off my sentence there. Luke picking up a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I wonder if that is related to the Delta. Or that would give you a drive-through, of course, if I remember rightly. A bit of a strange one, that, but nonetheless, it will be 5 seconds onto his race time, unless, of course, there is another pit stop and he serves it in the pit. But J-Luke, back to that. He's got the guys in front of him, softer compound tyres, older life, but the guys behind him, softer compound, younger life. So he's going to be attacking and defending simultaneously, and just try and hold in with those mediums, use that pace that we showed during that middle stint. Well, I suppose still technically the first stint, we're only just about to reach the halfway point of this race, and it is going to be a safety car restart in this lap.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. So, yeah, I think I saw Luke and Reds just sort of chopping and changing again. It's just happened there. So, I think it was just chopping and changing for when they were going through the banking. So, I'm not too sure what happened there. And Luke probably going to try and get that removed unless he does serve it. Brent, though, going to try and take us through the safety car restart. Tope went at the DRS line. Brent, I believe, has gone now. Luke again getting another 5 second for ignoring yellow flags. Again, not too sure what that's for. But yeah, Brent has now gone. J-Luke now trying to go for the move on Reds, coming up in towards turn number 1. I'm going to run on board with the Mercedes. He's going to keep that inside line. A little bit of contact between the pair of them. J-Luke, though, just touches that inside curb and I believe gets that move done in the end. Yes, he does. J-Luke now up into 4th position. Very good safety car restart from him. Brent and Darian Bunty going side by side, as well as White trying to get some moves done as well. Tope trying to now get this move done on Reds for this P5 position. He needs to try and stay with J-Luke as much as possible. Excuse me, because J-Luke is on the attack on Luke, and two Lukes going at it with each other, interestingly enough. But yeah, Brent, look at this restart he's already gotten. 1 second up ahead of Marty just in this, well, in the first sector and a half alone. Marty really is struggling on these medium tyres. I'm surprised we've not seen a Bulgarian make a pit stop as of yet. Luke, though, is now going to try and go for this move on Marty. Maybe coming down in towards the end of Sector 2, beginning of Sector 3. He's not going to be close enough to getting anything done. Might have to wait until the DRS, or can maybe go for something a bit extravagant coming down in towards turn number 1. As there's another safety car, and I'm not too sure what that's for.
I was riding on board through the back half of the grid there, and I seen zero contact, no debris, nobody seems to have lost a front wing. I'm not quite sure what that's for. I hope and I pray we're not seeing a classic Codemaster safety car glitch. I've seen this before on this very track, in fact. During a league race, a safety car came out lap 2 and we had all 5 safety cars by lap 12. Despite nothing actually happening and not a single lap of racing occurring. So hopefully that is not plagued this year. But it has gave Marty the chance to go for a set of softs to the end. However, yeah, answers on a postcard, I suppose. Why sort of safety car? Your guess is as good as mine, Jack.
God knows. God knows. I have no idea. I feel like it might be sort of glitched annoyingly, but it gave Marty the opportunity to make a pit stop. Easy's also made the pit stop for the set of softs, so I believe they're going to try and take those to the end. 18 laps on the soft tyres is a tall order. It's doable, but you need some very good tyre management to do it. I don't know. I think it might have still been a bit too early for the softs. They might have had to go on the hards to go to the mediums again, maybe, to do that. So they would have at least done 2 compounder tyres, but I feel like it was a bit too early for Marty to do that pit stop for the set of softs. And same with Easy as well. So I'm not too sure how it's going to play out. Are we going to get this restarted very quickly now, though, or are we going to be 1 lap again under the safety car? I think it's going to be the 1 lap from the looks of things. Luke obviously isn't going to make his way into the pits because he's going to then have to serve 10 seconds worth of penalties. I think it is a slight glitch, but I really don't know. To be honest with you, I really do not know what is going on with this at the moment. But Brent still does manage to maintain the lead. The annoying thing is, though, he did build up a bit of a gap. Now that Marty has come into the pits, that gap is now null and void, as RJ's actually coming into the pits, interestingly enough. So he will go to the back of the grid. Not too sure why he's made a pit stop as well. In fact, he's going on a fresh set of the softs as well.
An interesting call that. He was only 6 laps in on the medium stint. Yes, it might have been a little bit iffy towards the end of the stint, but definitely had life to get there and losing a tremendous amount of track position. It's a really strange circumstance. A Rom crashing out under the safety car, losing it on the exit of turn 3 into the wall on the left-hand side. So expect us maybe because of that to even go an extra lap here. I'm not quite sure. I suppose just easy to lose it under traction, but he'll be disappointed with himself for crashing out in such style. But yeah, maybe if it's a glitch, this maybe explains the issue Luke's been having with the penalties.
Yeah, very strange that Rom's actually crashed out under the safety car again. One that was running like a pretty decent race, but yeah, it was very, very strange, to be honest with yourself. So yeah, safety car's coming in this lap. Everyone's now, of course, on the back of the grid. Marty, Easy, RJ, ones we need to keep our eye out on. They're, of course, on the set of the soft tyres, and everybody else on the set of medium/hard tyres. J-Luke and Brent, of course, the only two on the hard tyres. Brent and J-Luke both in first and third, interestingly enough. So J-Luke was actually looking very, very quick on those hard tyres at that safety car restart. He just couldn't get anything done on Luke or Marty. But he now has this opportunity to get something done. Brent, he needs this good restart. He did the restart on the banking. Are we going to see the Dutchman do the same thing on this restart? Let's have a look and see when he is going to go. Is he going to go now? Yeah, he goes pretty much almost at the same point, except a little bit further down the banking this time. So Brent, very good safety car restart from him. Reds now capitalising on what happened with J-Luke.
Contact at the back of the field.
Oh,
sorry to jump. Big contact at the back of the field. Looked to between Bunty, Dari and Kamke, going 3 wide. One of them, I'm not quite sure who, moving across and making contact with the other. Another retirement red through the first bit with J-Luke.
Wow, okay, that's a very, very manic safety car restart. So J-Luke, Reds both coming together. Dari, Kamke and you said Bunty will coming together as well. Wow, what a safety car restart. Brent is now back into the lead of the race and has got on that 1 second gap once again over ahead of Luke. Taupe hasn't managed to try and follow through and catch up to the back of Brent, and he's still stuck behind Luke at the moment. 1.3 seconds now, Brent is up ahead of Luke. I hope these hards are now starting to come a bit more into fruition than the medium tyres, but what? I didn't even get to see what had happened between the lot of them. I was on board with J-Luke, and all of a sudden I was on board with Kamke and Dari, and then that happened with J-Luke. So, yeah, and another safety car.
I think we can safely say it seems to be whenever they cross into that final sector, it's deploying the safety car. This will, of course, be... Is it our third or fourth? I've lost count now.
I think it's our fourth, yeah.
Of 5, so we might have to endure this safety car and yet another one. Marty looked like he was going into the pits there. He even had me fooled. But I suppose it's looking quite good for Marty, Easy and RJ then. If these safety cars are going to keep coming, they're going to be able to stretch those softs for this final stint. And of course, they've gained up quite a few positions with all that chaos that happened on the restart. Of course, 12 cars left in this race now, 8 retirements, meaning every one of these guys that bring this car home is guaranteed at least 1 point. So, opportunities all round, I suppose.
Yeah, no, it definitely does look like it. J-Luke's gone on a fresh set of mediums. Dari going on a fresh set of the soft tyres as well. Brent reckons that it's glitched and that we get a safety car every lap now if we carry it on. I don't know. I really don't know, because this is a bit of a...
I've personally been involved in a race with this before, and it did constantly do this. You got 1 lap of racing, and as soon as you entered the third sector, safety car deployed, and it did that until all of the safety cars were used up.
Yeah,
and I think that's what we're seeing here tonight.
I really don't know. This is a very interesting dynamic, to be honest with yourself. So yeah, Brent at the moment still leading this race. I really hope it isn't fully glitched. Yeah, I really don't know what is going on. Obviously, as you said, safety car just coming out every single lap now. I mean, as you said, there's a maximum of 5. So if that is the case, I'm hoping by lap 28 we'll be full back racing, or lap 26, shall I say? But yeah, hopefully it isn't the case that we are going to keep on getting constant safety cars. If people stop crashing, then we might do. But yeah, Marty, Easy, and RJ are really now golden with where they are. J-Luke, interestingly, has come back into the pits, and I'm assuming going to chuck on a fresh set of the soft tyres. But Marty now really in a very good position to try and go for something up into like to try and actually go for this podium, considering that he's now only in P8. And I thought he made an absolute horrific strategy call, but it just looks like it's worked for him. To be honest with you, it looks like it's worked.
Prime position, like you say, everybody in front of him on harder compound tyres of a much older age. I suppose the only one, YHYY, only 4 laps older, but the softs are still going to be a lot more advantageous with that. I am curious to see what happens if we get another safety car after this. Will some of them just think, gamble, go for a set of softs and try and push your way through at the end, or go for the track position? Maybe the likes of Rex, Old School, Bunty in that lower pack of the medium runners, they know they're going to be vulnerable to the fresh soft runners behind them. So is it worth a gamble for them if we do get another safety car? I don't think it's even coming in this lap. So it will be at least lap 25 before we get any sort of racing. And I'm not going to shake hands on it, but I would put my house, my car, my whatever, that there may be another safety car here. As Marty actually jumping into the pits.
That's interesting. Very interesting call. I don't know why they would, why he's actually come in, to be completely honest with yourself. He was in a very good position to get some moves done on the rest of the medium runners. He's gone for a fresh set of softs, and they will definitely go to the end, but he had the opportunity to do that anyway, so I don't know. I really don't know why he has done that, to be honest with you. I think that, if anything, that's more ruined the chance of him being able to get on the podium. He could still follow with the rest of the soft runners, but yeah, that's definitely ruined this opportunity. Now Easy and RJ are now going to be able to try and do something as well. So yeah, this race has been completely chaotic, and I can tell you now, I've not seen this in LoE before, so it's not a regular occurrence, but yeah, this is very interesting.
You decided that I see it now in the LoE management. We've got this new guy coming in comms. Let's give him an absolute trial by fire and see how he holds up.
It's always the way. It's always the way. We've got to make sure that they're good enough for it. And yeah, doing a very good job so far.
But a strange one from Marty there. Like you say, 4 laps on the softs, most of it under the safety car. I can't imagine a high percentage of wear, but we are going to finally get back to racing. Hopefully it lasts for more than 2 sectors this time. We can only wait and see. Brent, he's going to get into a habit of doing these safety car restarts. It will be his 3rd one. Warming up those tyres, very nice, just backing up the pack. See where he goes this time down the banking.
I think he's going to go early this time, you know. He looks like he's built up a big enough gap that if he wanted to go right now, he could do. But I don't know, he might even go at the exact same point as where he's done as the last 2 times. And he's done the exact same thing. Luke, for some reason, still hasn't read that. And he's been left for dust once again. And now we're back under racing, hopefully for more than 2 sectors, like you said. Bunty, though, now trying to go for this move on YHYY down in towards turn 1. All single file this time. I'm saying that J-Luke has gone around at turn number 1, touching that inside curb. So hopefully that does not bring out a safety car. But at this present moment, it's still looking like it's okay. Rex and Bunty both going side by side. Rex having a little bit of a wobble. Bunty now trying to go for this move on YHYY, coming up towards down the hill. Not going to get anything done, as a little bit further behind as well. RJ and Dari and Easy all trying to really make their way up on these soft tyres. At this present moment, they can't. They're all still in one big train, as Brent, 1.2 seconds. Once again, he's built this lead up 3 times in a row. 1.5, or like getting over a second at least of whoever is behind him. Now we're coming into sector 3. I really hope we're not going to see another safety car come out literally right about now.
Last few times it's been any time around about here as the leader approached the penultimate
It's done
corner,
it again.
and right on cue, here he comes.
He's done it again. I'm hoping this is the last time. If it isn't, then I don't know. I really don't know.
Should be the allotted 5 for the race, and hopefully, of course, this will be lap 25, probably maybe last to lap 26. Hopefully, we can get at least 10 laps of racing here to finish up. That gives J-Luke, of course, the opportunity after that spin to go in, get a new front wing, a new set of softs, and try and have a better run of it than he did this time. But I think driver of the day already, it's got to be Miranda. Like, most laps leads, most impact on the race, shall we say.
Oh man, yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, he is definitely the one that has now led the most laps out of everyone. So, yeah, as annoying as it is, I feel like if it does come out again, then it really is glitched, and it's going to be the case that I think this is going to be our finishing order. If the safety car does keep coming out, as I said, 5 times is maximum. So this should be the last time that the safety car has come out, because this is the 5th time. So I don't know. If it comes out again, then yeah, I genuinely think this might be our finishing order. I'm literally going to keep on having 2 sectors of racing, and then that's it.
Could be a final, literally a 400-meter sprint essentially for the race position. Could see some very audacious moves, but it's playing into the hands of Brent, I suppose. It's, well, in a way it is, in a way it isn't. He's keeping that lead, he's got less time to try and defend on those hard tyres, and if anything, he's getting plenty of practice for the next time he needs to do a safety car restart. Always a handy thing to have in your locker. But Ben Cheston, can he dupe Luke again? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, well, I think you've been caught slacking a little bit there. But definitely another lap. It will be at the maximum, lap 28 for the restart, or the minimum, sorry, lap 28 we restart this race, and hopefully, if my calculations is right, will give us 9 laps of racing to the end, if it decides to stay in the pit, of course.
Yeah, I really don't know what's happening, to be honest with yourself. So yeah, hopefully, like I said, we'll see the safety car come in this lap. We see it coming, then yeah, I mean, it should hopefully get this restarted. Again, like I said, hopefully we'll wait and see, because everyone is still on the back of that safety car. Oh, I don't know. As I said, classic Code Masters glitch. Yeah, very, very interesting, to say the least. Brent's actually gone on the grass, interestingly enough. I think he's had enough of this. So yeah, hopefully by the end of the straight, we'll see it say safety car in this lap. It certainly is coming in this lap. I said this is the 5th one.
Hopefully it's the last time.
Yeah, it's the 5th one. So
I'm sure this is the 5th one.
I don't know. I don't know. It looks like it's coming in. So Brent's going to take us through his 4th restart. And we'll see how this is going to go down for the Dutchman. So, yeah. Again, is he going to go at the exact same point where Luke is actually going to read it this time? I don't think he's going to read it as well. Once again, safety car's in. Brent has gone again at the exact same point. Luke, this time, has managed to read it. Now we are going for this race, and it's looking like Brent is going to be able to maintain a lead of the race at this moment. A little bit further down though, Easy and RJ both trying to go side by side. Easy in fact is actually going a little bit too wide. RJ getting the move done on Easy, and now up into 8th position. Now it's him versus his teammate. I don't think Old School's going to try and hold him up for too long, goes a little bit too deep, does Old School, and yeah, I think this is going to be a bit of an interesting one as well. So a little bit further down, in fact, Easy getting passed by Dari as well, so Easy losing positions. He's on 8 lap old soft tyres, but at the same time, it shouldn't be that bad considering that pretty much all of the 8 laps we're running under that safety car. Brent once again has built up that gap, not by a second, but it's a bit more of a margin. It's a bit less of a margin, but a bit more of a gap now since the start of this race. Tope still can't seem to get a move done. I am begging, I am praying that we're not going to see another safety car come out now, because that should be every single one of them done.
Hold your breath, folks. We'll find out in the next 5 to 10 seconds. It's looking good, I must say. And I think we're finally going to get an extended period of racing, which we haven't seen for about 15-20 minutes.
Thank goodness for that.
Oh.
Yeah, RJ, Old School, here we go. They're both side by side. Again, I don't think Old School's going to try and fight this one too hard. His teammate's just going to go down the inside, and in fact, Darry's going to try and follow him. The one that made contact between the pair of them earlier on in the race, Darry's going to try and follow suit, still trying to hold it down the inside and towards turn 2. Darry's not going to get that move done. Old School's going to still stay up in P8, up ahead of the Williams, and now Old School's going to be basically the blocker for his teammate. He needs to do this as much as possible. RJ has now got the opportunity to try and finish himself on the podium. Bunty trying to go for a move on YYY as well. 20 lap old medium tyres, 23 lap old medium tyres for Luke and for the hards on Brent. And look how much of a gap he's now pulled out. He's now pulled out another 7 tenths since that last lap. 1.2 seconds up ahead of Brent now, and already broken that DRS. Luke, I think, is in for a absolute world of troubles on these final few laps, especially when a DRS gets activated.
Yeah, definitely. He's lost that DRS to Brent out front, so he's going to be sitting very vulnerable to the likes of Taupe, to the likes of YH, Bunty, and everybody else that I'm sure is going to be steaming through behind him. RJ, though, getting past the first of the medium runners. He's got his sights on a good high points paying position here. He's got the tyres for it. Does he have the time for it? The safety car's playing against him with that in some aspect, but of course, saving the tyres. So take it with one hand, take it away with the other for him. 7 laps to go here, including this one, and it's going to be essentially a sprint to the finish.
It really is, and Taupe, you see now he is starting to line up a move on Luke. He's all over the back of the Aston Martin, and I feel like Luke is going to struggle, as I said, to keep Taupe behind him, considering that Taupe was the one that qualified on pole and has looked the quickest other than Brent in this race alone, along with J-Luke, but he's all the way down in 11th position. But yeah, I think Taupe, he's going to try and go for some sort of move on Luke, not probably in the SDRS straight, but probably on the start-finish straight, as in fact he got a little bit of a worse run out of that corner in comparison to Luke. So yeah, at the moment Taupe just going to be holding back at the moment on the Aston Martin, and I believe we might see Taupe go for something very, very soon. Not only that though, a little bit further behind, Bunty is all over the back of YHYY, and YHYY could become under threat as well from the Alfa Romeo. But let's have a look here. Right on board with Taupe. DRS now wide open. ERS being used as well. Straight down the inside goes the German, and nice and easy, move done. Now up into 2nd position. Of course, as I said, Luke's penalties should be getting removed once he does put in a steward's inquiry for it. So at the moment, we will still say that he is in net 3rd position. YHYY is in 4th and Bunty in 5th, so they need to get these moves done on him ASAP. Rex still in 6th position. RJ in 7th, not actually able to get any sort of move done on these medium runners. Of course, they're all going to be in a DRS trainers. Bunty almost going into the back of YHYY, interestingly enough. But yeah, RJ, he needs to use these soft tyres to his advantage to try and at least do something within the corners and get as close as he can. So then at least if he's got the DRS and all over the back of him, he still has the opportunity of getting a move done, especially in towards turn 1. Try and maybe break it a little bit later than the rest of the guys and get some moves done on those soft compounder tyres. At the moment, Old School doing a very good job of just blocking the rest of the soft runners.
Yeah, like you say, RJ really need to get the move on with these moves. He's got the soft tyres, he can accelerate a little bit earlier out of the corners, get a better exit for a run down the straights, and of course, like you're saying, braking a little bit later. Running out of time though, he's really going to have to get a move on with that. Further back though, Daddy is shaping up a move on Old School, having a little look down the inside into turn 1, thinks better of it being a few tenths back, but he's really closed up to the back of the first of McLarens, of course, running tandem at the moment in P6, 7 and 8. Further back, J-Luke has been right on the back of Easy for essentially a lap and a half, but not able to make the move done. The two soft runners, 12 laps to 5 laps, of course, don't really bear too much attention to that because, you know, we of course know the story with the lap tyres, the tyre lap counter, of course, being mostly under safety cars, so it's not a true representation, but Daddy still not able to get any sort of movement through that middle sector. Of course, difficult to overtake. This could be his chance if he can get a better exit, but Old School get a nice exit on those 19 lap old mediums. Plenty of battles going on, but not much movement. It is really almost a little bit of mind games going on here. Who's going to make a mistake? Who's going to risk it? Put the throttle down as early as they can. That's the way I'm seeing this Grand Prix panning out here. But Brent right at the front, 1.2 seconds clearing that, keeping that DRS gap wide open against Taupe. That's got he to be his biggest advantage, and he's got to hold that for as long as he possibly can.
Yeah, no, certainly does. As J-Luke and Easy, yeah, there you go, both trading positions now. J-Luke going down the inside into turn 1, using up all of his ERS. Easy trying to hold it around the outside in towards turn 2 and coming through to turn 3 as there's been a yellow flag. That is in fact Dari down into P12 now. So the one that was chasing down Old School now down at the back of the field is still within, or still close to the DRS with the rest of the guys, but in fact he's actually got no front wings. So Dari now pretty much out of this running. Unfortunately for him, there's not going to be any more safety cars, so that's now pretty much null and voided his race. P12 will be the best where the German is going to finish, unless of course there is another spinner or another retiree. Marty though all over the back of Easy, and saying that, Marty getting all out of shape behind the Haas driver, but again 8 lap old mediums, softs, sorry, in comparison to 13 lap old softs. Again though, 10 out pinch of salt because of the safety car glitch. Interesting thing to note as well though, Taupe on 20 lap old mediums compared to Brent's 27 lap old hards. Taupe isn't actually catching Brent that quickly. He's only gained about a tenth on him in this lap alone, and still out of the DRS, and he's now derating. Brent has used his ERS to, well, very efficiently, and keeping that gap nice and open from Taupe. So Brent really is on for, I believe, his first race win of the season as Marty and Easy changing positions. In fact, they're still both side by side, still contact going on between the pair of them. Marty just leaving just a sufficient amount of room, both leaving each other a sufficient amount of room, still both side by side, all contact between the pair of them. Very good battling between the pair of them, and Easy keeping that P10 position. Very good defense from Easy, very good attacking from Marty. Marty's maybe going to try and go down, for it, down the hill, and it was never going to work. Marty going around. I don't think he hit the wall though. I think he narrowly avoided the wall, but he has now definitely spun around. So the Bulgarian, I think he was a bit too ambitious for trying it going down the hill. But yeah, now down into a P11 goes the Bulgarian. So very unfortunate for him. And now again, P11, probably the best he's going to finish unless there is another retiree as well. So the top 10 are all still on for some sort of points. J-Luke, however, 2.5 seconds now behind Old School. I think it's going to be a bit of a tall order for him to try and catch up to the back of that train. Taupe, again, 1.2 seconds behind Brent. I think Brent, if he doesn't make a mistake in this final, in this second to last lap, I think he might have this wrapped up within, yeah, I think he's got this wrapped up.
Yeah, absolutely. Holding that down. In fact, almost stretching the gap there, that final lap. The 29 lap old hards. That's quite the feat. Of course, safety car has maybe bolstered the life of them. However, a solid drive from the Dutchman, I believe. I believe that is correct. Of course, this would be his first win of the season, like you say. He's picked up a podium at Bahrain and Australia, of course, round 8 and round 9, a third and a second respectively. Bronze, silver, it's now time for gold, and he's looking very, very well for it. But I'm quite surprised at RJ here. He's on the softs, but he's not really been able to make any inroads on those top 6. P7, this was his chance to catch up on the championship leader, as Easy's had a spin, it looks like, through turn 9. No damage on the car, just a little bit of a spin, so that knocks him out of the run, and it's almost as well with J-Luke. He's lost gap to the top 8. So really it's an 8th place shootout here, but there's been no lateral movement of positions for about 10 laps essentially.
Yeah, it's all literally been one big train. We're on at the final lap of the race now. I was running on board with Bunty because I think that was probably the best opportunity he could get to go for a move on YHY. However, YHY still within a second of Luke. And you can see Bunty, in fact, pushing YHY. I think went into the back of him. Don't think he picked up any sort of damage from that, but Bunty really is pushing this hard. And you can see he's using his ERS through this S section. He wants to get this moved on YHY. YHY just touching the grass on the outside there as he's about to start making their way down the hill. Obviously, as I said in the final lap, Brent, he's done a superb job leading this entire thing. As Bunty, half spin from the Alfa Romeo, pushing this, like I said, way too hard. Rex is now maybe going to try and go for a move on the Alfa Romeo, but no, the American, again, not going to be close enough to getting anything done on Bunty. You just have to remain behind him for now. Of course, we're on now the final DRS straight, and again, unfortunately for Rex, because of the DRS with Bunty and YHY, he's not going to be able to get any sort of move done. So now we go up towards Brent. Brent has had to do 4 safety car restarts, has had to try and hold back the rest of the medium runners, get through a few of the medium runners, and in the end, for his first race win in the League of Europe, he manages to get it done. Brent, congratulations to you for taking that win. Taupe does finish in second. Luke will end up finishing third, although for some reason dropping him all the way down into P9 because of the 10-second time penalty that he wrongly was given. But it is the one that ends up finishing third. YHYY will be fourth, Rex in fifth, RJ in sixth, Old School in seventh, Bunty in eighth, J-Luke in ninth, Easy rounding out that top 10, Marty in 11th, and then Dari picking up the final points position. I think he actually even pit and was going for the fastest lap. And we'll see, is he able to get this one done? Let's have a look. No, he didn't pick up the fastest lap, interestingly enough.
Yeah, quite a strange one. I thought last lap, fresh sauce. You're bound to be in for a shoe-in of getting that fastest lap. But driver of the day from the game, Marty, of course, starting in P20, making up to P11. So the 9 positions enough for Codemasters. But I wouldn't pay too much attention to Codemasters after this race. Quite a chaotic one, I must say.
Yeah, no, it certainly was a chaotic one. But the ones that weren't being chaotic, of course, Brent, Taupe, and, well, Luke as well. All 3 of those guys did a very good job indeed. Well, the top 5, shall I say, the whole of the top 5. Very good job from all of those guys. Brent, I think, just drove the better one today. And Taupe, again, if he didn't mess up that strategy at the very beginning, when that first safety car came out on lap 4, I think Taupe could have, Taupe would have won this race. Really, just a very bad strategy from him, and it just didn't play out this time. Finally, though, Brent does take a win. Again, his first win, I believe, that is in the League of Europe. Taupe will finish in second. YHYY will finish third. Rex in fourth. RJ in fifth. Sorry, Luke is in third because of those 10-second time penalties. But again, I'm sure they'll be removed. So YHYY will be fourth. Rex will be fifth. RJ sixth. Old School seventh. Bunty in eighth. J-Luke in ninth. Easy, as I said, will be 10th. Marty in 11th. In fact, Dari did pick up the fastest lap. It just didn't show up on our screen. But Dari does pick up the fastest lap in 11.4. And the final points, so he'll get 2 points out of that. DNFs of Reds, Cam K, Rom, Hassel U, Chill, Perfect Pond, Noah J, and Alt Maverick. To sum up, a very chaotic, interesting, dramatic race. That's all I can describe it.
I think we could describe it as anything better or anything worse. Race had pretty much everything there. Few overtakes, big mistakes, a few big collisions, and of course the appearance of the safety car. Maybe a few more times than we would have liked.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, a very entertaining round 11 here at the League of Europe for Division 3. RG, though, not able to take advantage of the missing championship leader. Could live to regret that. He's done it. He's had it before in Australia, picking up a few more points. A good finish for Brent, getting his first race of the season. Got to say, an amazing Grand Prix. Yeah,
it was a very entertaining one. Obviously, other than those safety cars, it was a very entertaining one to say the least. Yeah, that gap now only cut down by 8 points instead of it. So from 21 points, it's now only down to 13. So Rick still is being caught up. However, that is not exactly the blow that I think RJ would have wanted. If he would have at least gotten himself a bit further up in that top 5, so maybe on the podium, then it would have been looking a bit interesting. But yeah, RJ, he's definitely got his work cut out for him. 13-point deficit between himself and Rick. Luke has just got himself up a little bit further as well as Taupe, both moving their ways up. Again, not going to be close enough to RJ, but it's going to be close enough to RJ, but still not overtaking him in points at this present moment. Unfortunately, we normally do podium interviews, but because of everything that had happened within that race with all of the safety cars, unfortunately, we're not going to be doing any podium interviews for tonight. Just due to the fact that I have to go race in approximately 13 minutes. So, yeah, have you got any final thoughts for the race for tonight, Scott?
I'd just like to basically round off my part saying thank you very much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure to jump into the comms box here for LOE, and hopefully the first time of many. Can't wait for the next one, I suppose.
Yeah, no, exactly. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you a lot more in the comms box soon as well. Thank you to everyone that has tuned in for tonight. As I said, next week you should be having the regulars back of comments to listen to Jess Games. But yeah, thank you to everybody that has tuned in for tonight. Make sure you guys do catch Division 2 and Division 5 at 8:10 BST, or in approximately, as I said, 12 minutes time for Division 2 and Division 5, and then again next week for round number 12 for 6:30 p.m. British Standard Time for Division 1, 3 and 4 as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week for round number 12 around, I will say it, as the not Russian Grand Prix.